So redistricting was included on the special session agenda because President Trump's DOJ issued a memo asserting that congressional districts 9, 18, 29, and 33 were unconstitutional because of their racial composition. Do you share President Trump's DOJ's view about the racial composition of these districts and agree redistricting should occur because of the reasons cited by the DOJ?
I don't have an opinion on the DOJ letter. As I mentioned to Senator Menendez, my extent digging into it was that I read it, and then I requested a copy of the response that the Attorney General's Office litigation team had submitted to the court response to that letter, and I've read that response, and that's the extent of my knowledge on the letter or the allegations within it.
Okay. Well, speaking of the DOJ letter, I assume you've read it. Okay. So the letter neither finds a violation of law nor engages in bona fide settlement efforts. It raises concerns and asks for a same-day response. It's kind of a fig leaf for a power grab. Are you aware that the DOJ sued Texas in 2021, alleging that the congressional map discriminated against minority voters, and the Trump administration dropped that suit after years of litigation? Are you aware of that?
Generally, yes.
Okay. So it's too late for the DOJ to be bringing up new litigation against 2021 maps, I would think, wouldn't you?
Again, I can't speak for the DOJ. I've read the letter, I've read the response, and I'm sure that the plaintiffs have filed responses as well, but I haven't read those.
Okay. So since we're talking about 2021, I believe you did vote for those maps. Is that correct? And I think every Republican member here voted for those maps. Is that correct?
I believe Senator Huffman was the bill author.
Okay. But it was a partisan vote. Republicans voted for the maps.
Redistricting usually
right.
is.
Okay. You know, I was looking back at some of the debate going back and forth, and 12 times on the Senate floor, the term race blind was said in debate. 12 times. 11 times, the words VRA compliance was said. So with all of that, and all of y'all voting for those maps, what's wrong with the maps? Why are we doing it over?
Again, I can't speak to the DOJ, I don't know any of their facts behind that. I just read the letter, which was conclusory in nature. And I would just refer you to the filings by the parties, or at some point, I'm sure this will come up in hearings and there'll be discussions on that, but you know as much about the letter as I do.
Okay, and I'm saying that because I want people who are up in the gallery or people who are tuning in to realize that these are maps that y'all supported and voted for. I just want to make sure that's clear to everyone that's paying attention. Is the DOJ letter the only reason we are considering redrawing the congressional districts, or is there other motivation?
Well, for the purposes of what we're doing today, the reason for considering the congressional redistricting is because the governor placed it on the call.
And do you know what sparked the governor to want to put this on the call? Because I don't remember, unless I'm just, forgetting, but I don't recall us having any conversations during the regular session that we just finished not too long ago. Did redistricting ever come up?
Not in my personal discussions, but if you're referring to the call itself, it does say legislation that provides a revised congressional redistricting plan in light of constitutional concerns raised by the U.S. Department of Justice. And so as we proceed forward, I know we'll be discussing such things. But again, for the purpose of today, it is just the resolution establishing a committee so that we can get into the redistricting process.
Will the committee have invited testimony, and I don't apologize if I'm not saying his name correctly, Harmeet Dillon? That's the person at the DOJ who signed the July 7th letter requesting we engage in intentional discrimination.
So, assuming the committee agrees with the process, what we would be doing is notifying as many interested parties, interested stakeholders, interest groups, as well as the general public to the greatest extent we could of when the hearings are. I don't have any plans, although it could change, for specific invited testimony, but as we talked on the phone Saturday or Sunday, and as I've talked to Senator Parker, in your roles as caucus chairs, anyone that you would like to specifically testify, give me their names, and I'll make sure that they get to testify early on in the hearings.
Okay, well, I think the person that signed this letter should come before the committee. So I'm going to make an official request of you and the committee that he be invited. And if we have to go to DC and have a field hearing there, so be it. But I think the person who wrote that letter needs to come before the committee because I'm sure we all have a lot of questions. For example, what I would want to know about is the letter claims that the congressional districts 9, 18, 29, and 33, by the way, 3 of those are in Houston, and they all play a part in my Senate district, are unconstitutional coalition districts. But this is baseless because the congressional district 29 is a majority Latino CVAP district, and it's not a coalition district. Texas legislators just testified in El Paso to that very statement. So I would have a lot of questions for the person that signed that letter. So I'm hopeful, Mr. Senator King, that you would want to entertain that suggestion. So in the last census, Texas was given 2 more additional seats. So we are at 38, second largest delegation in the Congress. And do you know why we got 2 additional seats?
The state had grown in population by about 2 million at minimum.
And what group would you attribute that growth to?
I don't recall the census data in detail.
Well, 95% of the population growth came from minorities, mostly Latinos. Would you be surprised to know that minorities did not get more representation even though we were the cause of that growth?
I'm not advised on that.
No, I mean, in fact, we received less. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to tell you that I look forward to a very robust debate and conversation in the days to come.
Yes, and thank you for agreeing to serve on the committee as well.